Welcome to another episode of Uncivilized Investigations.
Super uncivilized.
Yeah. This week, I got another story from New England. I'm going to host it. Brody here with me.
I'm going to sit here and look pretty.
He's going to sit here. We're going to talk about the New Bedford Highway Killer. It's that.
Takes place in New Bedford.
No.
See, I listen.
In the second half of the year of 1988.
I was just born.
Yeah. Almost. Women's remains had started to be found.
How many?
9.
Okay.
July 3rd is the first body of Deborah Medeiros, 29-year-old, who was reported missing on May 27th, 1988. The body was found by a motorist who had pulled over and used the bathroom in the woods.
That's my luck. That would happen to me.
He actually talked about that.
That would happen to me. I would be going down 176 and have to pee, and I'd pull over, and there would be a dead body. That is...
Now, what's the question? Do you call somebody, or you're just like, nope, not today?
I don't know. It depends who it is.
The state of her remains were decomposed, and a bra was actually wrapped around her neck. It is reported that her cause of death is believed to be strangulation. I think a big hint to that is a bra wrapped around the neck.
I can see where this is going with the police already.
During the investigation, her boyfriend was actually ruled out as a suspect.
Do we know how they ruled him out?
Not much detail on that boyfriend.
Well, if it's anything like the bra comment, they probably went, did you do it? No? Okay.
Hold on. We got to call the man in. Second body found was July 30th, 1988, identified as Nancy Lee Pava. She was last seen July 7th walking home from a bar after having a fight with her boyfriend very early in the morning. Her body was around the same stretch of highway and was found by 2 men riding their motorcycles. I couldn't find out if it was like riding dirt bikes or if it was like riding motorcycles.
Just riding down the road.
Yeah. Her body was found very similar to other victims that were found, and her cause of death was also believed to be a strangulation, although there was no mention of whether or not she had a bra wrapped around her or not. The boyfriend she was fighting with was ruled out again as a suspect.
Did you do it?
He's gotten on his face. Nah. Finding bodies took a little bit of a halt, but then again, November 8th, 1988, Deborah Greenlaw DeMello, last seen July 11th of 1988, was the third to be found. Her body was found nude in a small wooded area, and her clothing was found in the trees in the surrounding area. A highway maintenance crew found her body. Surprisingly, there were also belongings of other victims found with her body.
Does it say, was it the same highway?
I didn't take that good of notes, but there was mention of Interstate 195 and Route 140.
I was just curious if it was the same corridor.
There is actually Route 140 and I-95 do kind of meet together.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't pull it up, but the way it's my research, they were all in the same area. Shortly after finding Deborah, on November 29th, Dawn Mendez was found. She was last seen September 4th, leaving her apartment, and she was leaving to go to a family gathering, never returned. She was found by a canine, and her body was mostly skeletal remains when found, but her hand was still partially there, and they had enough to get a fingerprint off of, and that was what was used to identify her. July 5th of 1988, Deborah Lynn McConnell was found along 140, so that was in that 195 140 area. She was found by a cadaver dog, last seen at her mother's funeral in May, and her body had a bra wrapped around her neck when she was found.
So were they searching for her?
This was when
they started searching.
Yes.
Okay. I was say, because why else would there be a cadaver dog there?
Well, they found the first body, and then through that,
okay,
they were just because the first body and the second body were found within the same month.
Gotcha.
Rochelle Clifford Caparello was found on December 10th. She was found in a gravel pit about 2 miles from Interstate 195, but it was kind of like an offshoot road. She was partially dressed, and she was found by people riding ATVs kind of in that quarry gravel pit. Along with being undressed, she will also be appeared to be beaten by her killer. She was last seen with another victim's boyfriend who had a criminal history but wasn't considered a suspect. Yeah. The police didn't go into much detail on it.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
No, I was too
I
busy
see your
selling
record
drugs.
here, but yeah, you're good. She did, though, have a relationship with one of the suspects that was arrested in this case, but was found not guilty. And I should note that relationship wasn't like a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. She had, I'll explain as we go.
His alibi was that he was doing crime. Don't do crime, kids. Unless you need an alibi.
If you are going to do crime, be good at it. The seventh victim, Robin Rhodes, was found March 28th in 1989, sometime after the previous victim. She was found along Interstate 140 by a canine, and she previously dated a suspect in this case and was friends with some of the victims.
So it sounds like they were all in the same social circle.
I believe
Facebook group.
Facebook in 1988.
Yeah.
They still wrote letters to each other in 1988. I did read about this. I wasn't able to find it through many sources, so I didn't add it in my notes. But it was believed that all these women were either directly involved with or associated with sex workers and drugs and stuff.
We're back to the sex workers.
I seem to have a scene.
Yeah, I see that. We might have to have a talk after the show.
After the show. And another thing I didn't take great notes at was the gap in the search.
Noticing a trend.
December and March. But I'll try to do better on the next one. Shortly after, on March 31st, 1989, Mary Rose Santos' remains were found. She was last seen dancing at a club on July 16th of 1988. And it was interesting because her husband had dropped her off at the club, but they had just recently reconciled their marriage because they were kind of on the outs. Her body was found by two young men in the area, and they noticed a beer bottle was around her body. Not around, but in the area of her body. One of the suspects in this case represented her in a civil case. And the same suspect actually assisted her husband in the search effort to find her when she went missing.
They do say killers like to involve themselves in the cases.
They do. The ninth and final victim was Sandra Botello. She was found April 24th, 1989. She was last seen August 11th, leaving her apartment very late in the evening. Her body was found in the woods, nude and in the fetal position. Now, along with the 9 women found, there were also 2 women who went missing in the same New Bedford area that some investigations kind of tie in together, but there's no... I mean, they went missing, they were never seen. The first was Christina Montero, who was last seen May of 1988, and Marilyn Cardoza Roberts, who was last seen June 88. And both of these women were actually neighbors, and I read today that they were also, both of their fathers were police officers.
What did you find it all? Like, what is New Bedford like? Like, is it like our area or is it like big city? What?
I didn't actually look into New Bedford, but there are, I forget the name of the area, but it's very known for sex trafficking and drugs. But it's not like it's a rural area. Or I didn't find out if it was like rural or very developed.
I'm just noticing a trend in the last names. That's why I'm asking.
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
There have been no convictions in this case that connect all of these victims, but there have been suspects, and to appease you, there's even an international theory.
A little bit on New Bedford. This is just what I pulled up real quick. It's a city in Bristol County, Massachusetts, United States. It's located on the, this will be fun, Acushnet River in what is known as the South Coast region, abutting Buzzards Bay. As of the 2020 census, it had a population of 101,000, making it the state's 9th largest city and the largest of the South Coast region.
So in 89, it was probably up and coming. But with any big populated area, there's usually associated with crime and all that.
Yeah, I was just curious because I was noticing a trend and what I do.
I should have looked into that. There's a reason I'm a co-host.
For what?
The actual host does a lot better job at this than I do.
When do I get to meet him?
Silent torture. Just saying, never seen me and Batman in the same room together. One of the first suspects in this case was Anthony DeGrazia. He was shown to sex workers, and in particular, a woman named Deborah Medeiros. I believe this was in early 88, because the women in the area knew him by Bullnose from his appearance. His photo was shown to Deborah Medeiros when she had reported being attacked and assaulted, and gave a description to police, which was of the bullnose and such. She gave her testimony to a grand jury, and DeGrazia was brought in for questioning and also went before the jury. However, he was not indicted. He did, however, have a history of assaults and sexual assaults. And with the history of that, the district attorney was able to obtain a warrant for his arrest on 17 attempted assaults on other women that was brought up through questioning. Listening to his attorney at the time, he turned himself in and was arraigned and arrested. The judge in his case had set a $180,000 bail and required $1 million secured bond for his release.
That judge said, "You ain't leaving."
Yeah, that's basically you're not coming out of this one. Obviously, he wasn't able to make bail and was unable to be released.
And that's 1988 money.
1988 money. I can only imagine what that is today. Probably 2 gallons of milk. He not being able to release, he spent 13 months in prison. And in that time, his attorney filed 18 motions asking the court to provide actual evidence, because all of this was based off of just witnesses and such.
Yeah.
And also, his attorney was asking for a more reasonable bail term, because, again, $180,000 with $1 million secured bail, that's just outlandish. All of these motions were denied in 13 months. DeGrazia, being frustrated with his attorney, fired him and hired a new attorney from the city of Boston to represent him, just because, big city lawyer probably.
Apparently this guy wasn't doing his job too well.
No. This new attorney got right to work and started by filing contempt charges against the DA for not providing evidence. And in doing so, was able to get his bail reduced.
That's all, folks.
It's my second day reading. DeGrazia was able to make bail then and got released on June 27th, 1990. But he was released for a very short time before being arrested again for allegedly mumbling threats to the DA upon his release.
I'm getting out. Never mind.
These new charges were brought on, and the judge said, I wasn't able to find out what it was, but a more reasonable bail amount, and he was released again. Following his release, very soon after, he was found dead under the picnic table at his ex-girlfriend's family's house. At first, his death was ruled a homicide by the local police, which I believe was New Bedford. The district attorney, however, ruled his death a suicide, and that was not collaborated, thank you.
Yep.
By an autopsy report that was done that also ruled his death a homicide. The district attorney made a public broadcast, noted how convenient his death was after being considered a suspect in the highway killings. However, that statement was later redacted after his family, who believed his death was a homicide, submitted a lawsuit against the district attorney.
Nice. Man, this one has a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah. Oh, there's more. After this, police had named a new suspect in the case they believed is responsible. Kenneth Pont, an attorney with a checkered past that had struggled with drug abuse and frequented sex workers, was named their new suspect for at least one of the victims. Being an attorney, he had represented one of the victims, Rochelle Clifford de Perala, in the past, and the DA suggested that he may have been the one to kill her to prevent her from exposing his drug habit. Ponte had represented her in 1988 when she accused another man of raping her. Shortly after this is when she went missing. And then in September of 1988, Pont had moved to Florida from Massachusetts.
Interesting.
In August of 1990, Ponte had been arraigned for the murder and entered a plea of not guilty and posted his $50,000 bond.
Well, he got a lighter one than the other dude.
Yeah. In July of 1991, the charges were dropped due to lack of evidence. And there were other charges with this, but they ended up getting dropped within a year. Those charges were based off of drugs and other assaults that must not have been much. And then the case started to go cold after this after Font was dropped to the charges. You have something to add?
No.
You postured up there for a sec.
Well, I'm scanning ahead. I need to stop doing that. Really confuse people when I start asking questions about stuff you haven't said yet.
The case started to go cold, but then May of 2009, the New Bedford police actually began excavating the driveway of Pont's former home.
That's where I have some. Why the driveway?
They were
out of
looking
all
for
the places around his house, they did the driveway.
I would imagine there was some sort of
tip or
something.
Yeah, okay.
Or the house, one year the driveway was here, then all of a sudden it's here.
Moved over.
And dude just up and left to Florida randomly.
Yeah, okay. Just seemed odd.
But they were unsuccessful in finding any new evidence. And then May 15th that same year, he was arrested for shoplifting after stealing 4 cans of sardines and a block of cheese.
Well, I mean, eating sardines should have him thrown in jail for life with no possibility of parole. So
yeah,
they're gross. Salty little fish.
January 27th of 2010, Pont was found dead inside of his home and also believed there is no foul play.
He probably choked on a sardine.
Might have been backed up from the block of cheese. Much later, after... Now, that was the first main suspect or second suspect that they had. The timeline of the suspects are kind of out of order how I had written it. But
I'll dock his pay, don't worry.
Yeah. What's half of nothing? Much later, another suspect had come into view. Daniel Tavares, who had served time in 1991 for stabbing his mother to death, had been released in 2007. So he was reformed. He was going to start a new life.
He's a much better person now.
And then he went back to prison for the double murder of his neighbor. And in 2015, while in prison, he was admitting admitting he had responsibility for some of the women, because one of the women was found a mile from his home.
So he's dumb.
Yeah.
So far, they've both been dumb.
All 3 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're worth it.
He was charged with the death of, and in my research, they kept mentioning a Gail Botello, but for 2015 charge he got after the murder of his neighbors, and the research of the women found it was mentioning a Sandra Botello.
Oh, so they were related.
I wasn't able to find out if they were related, if it was the same person.
Gotcha.
So then now I have an international theory. So there was a theory of an international suspect due to several other murders that happened in Portugal.
Were those Portuguese last names?
Well, there was a lot of Portuguese ancestry.
Okay.
Due to the large Portuguese population and that some victims were of Portuguese descent, authorities from Portugal had come to gather information, and members of the FBI had traveled to Portugal to learn more about, in 1992 to 1993, 3 victims, I believe it was, were brutally murdered. The victims were dismembered by an instrument that was described as clearly not a knife. Did you do it?
Yes. Did you do it? No, and I definitely clearly didn't use a knife.
Because of the manner these women were found, the killer was given the nickname of the Lisbon Ripper. 2 more victims.
Lisbon in Portugal?
I don't assume that's a mix of it.
I guess, okay.
I know it's hell to say with my speech impediment.
Lisbon.
2 more victims were found near the 3 women, basically on the other side of the river, who were found to be shot. So they don't know if that was connected or not.
Well, that definitely wasn't a knife. Clearly wasn't a knife.
Were they shot, or was it clearly not a gun? Along with the 3 dismembered and 2 shot, 4 other similar victims were found in countries of Belgium, Netherlands, Denmark, and the Czech Republic. This led investigators to believe that the suspected Lisbon Ripper may have been a commercial truck driver.
You could drive over the ocean. Yeah. It's the rubber duck.
It's like Waterworld.
Yeah.
Same time frame. Kevin Costner was in.
Maybe Kevin Costner did it. Isn't he one of those Scientology
No,
people?
I don't think Kevin Costner is.
Oh, I don't know. I don't follow celebrities.
I'd say don't ruin Kevin Costner. Field of Dreams, bro. In 2011, a 21-year-old named Joel applied to be on a reality TV show in Portugal. And as I found out, it was like secret time where basically I would have a secret that I'm hiding and you also have one. And I guess we're supposed to try to guess each other's.
That sounds like a good way to catch a killer.
But wait, there's more. On his application, he had written to producers that his father was Jose Pedro Guadez, was in fact the Lisbon Ripper. Secret's out.
Yeah, way to keep a secret.
Following this, Jose was arrested and brought in for questioning. Jose had confessed to multiple murders in Portugal and also Germany. However, because of the murders he confessed to in Portugal were early in the 90s and the limit of statutations, he was unable to be brought up on charges, being it was like greater than 15 years, I believe it was.
I didn't know there was a statute of limitations on murder.
We're also talking about Portugal.
That's true.
But he was brought up on charges for a murder that happened in 2000s in Aveiro, Portugal, and also similar cases in Germany where he had lived in the 90s. So there must not be a statute in Germany.
Well, I mean, it's Germany.
We're just going to leave that one there.
Little mustache.
We're just going to leave that one right there. However, there was no solid connection to any murder in the United States, including the New Bedford Highway Killings.
Was his dad a truck driver?
Yeah, the guy, that Jose guy?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they never made mention if he was a truck driver.
Well, now I want to know.
Stay tuned. There was no proof of ever having lived in the United States, but we all know immigration. And it was odd that Portuguese authorities traveled to the United States and the FBI traveled to Portugal to investigate the two.
Yeah, I would assume there was some similarities in the cases or something for that to happen.
The only reason I added that, because there was nothing that would actually like link it.
Yeah.
But why would FBI of all bureaus, why would they travel internationally to investigate?
Yeah, that's odd.
I wasn't able to find out if the FBI was only looking at the New Bedford, but I know the Portugal authorities have come and looked solely at New Bedford.
So the U.S. has never caught the killer.
No country had caught a killer in relation to
New Bedford.
The closest they got was Kenneth Pont on
The suicidal lawyer.
The drug addict lawyer
who killed himself. Well assuming. Sardines.
Sardines and block fees. But
Cops probably asked his corpse, did you do it? No? Okay.
But they brought him up on charges, but the charges were dropped due to lack of evidence.
But that was only for one of the murders, right?
Only one of them. All of the other
you're talking 90s, 2000.
Early 90s, yeah.
Not everybody had a Ring camera doorbell thing.
Yeah. I mean, along the side of the highway. That was before everybody had dash cams and Waze apps and all that.
Well, if you know who the New Bedford killer was, send us a message.
Or if you have anything to add that I might have missed, because I'm sure I did.
Hey, let him alone. He reads at a 4th grade level.
But I graduated 5th grade.
But yeah, so that is our New Bedford.
Were we going to do some sort of holiday episodes or something?
Yes, I'm glad you reminded me because I almost just went up and turned the camera off again without mentioning it. We are going to throw together a special Christmas episode.
When we say throw them together, you thought these were done poorly.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to go to Paranormal Christmas.
I'm not even sure what I'm going to go. I'm going to try and find something though.
But yes, there will be a special episode released on Christmas Day. Probably won't be quite as long. It definitely won't be as in-depth. Well, maybe. Depends what kind of rabbit hole I go down.
Yeah, it's also going to go to the quality of the make of the episode.
Yep.
We're both going to try to present something that episode.
But we hope you like what we're doing. Remember to click subscribe. Helps us out. Send us some messages. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about.
Give us ideas. We're open to listen to any input we get for the production as put together as it is.
Even if it's quit. We probably won't, but we'll listen to it.
We're pretty persistent.
But yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Another episode of Uncivilized Investigations.
Thank you for watching.